All right, so get this. We're going on a treasure hunt today, but it's not the pirate kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're ditching Silicon Valley and heading straight for, you guessed it, Main Street.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to unpack Main Street Millionaire by Codie Sanchez. This book basically throws everything we thought we knew about building wealth right out the window.
Out the window.
Well, kinda, yeah. It says, forget the whole risky startup grind, Sanchez says, scooping up an already profitable business, like maybe a laundromat or, I don't know, car wash, could be like a secret weapon we've been totally missing.
So instead of starting from scratch and, dealing with all the startup growing pains, you're saying we just step right into a system that's already, proven itself?
You got it. It's like you're not building the car from parts. You're buying a sweet ride that's already got the engine humming.
Right.
And speaking of buying, Main Street Millionaire dives into stories of people who built empires this way. Like, remember Wayne Huizenga?
Wayne Huizenga.
Yeah, the waste management guy, Blockbuster, AutoNation. Yeah, he was like the king of buying businesses, not starting them.
Ah, I see. That's a great example of leverage, right? You get a head start when you acquire a business that's already successful. You don't have to claw your way up for market share like a brand new startup. You kind of inherit the customers, the systems, even the brand recognition.
Exactly. But, okay, let's be real for a sec. Most of us don't have, like, millions stashed away to just buy a business.
Sure.
That's where this gets juicy. Sanchez talks about some creative financing options like, get this, seller financing, where the person you're buying from actually helps you finance the purchase.
Wow.
So imagine this. You want to buy a business for, let's say, $500,000.
Right.
But instead of begging a bank for a loan, you just make payments to the previous owner from the money the business is already making.
I see. That's really interesting.
Yeah, right.
It's a game changer, really, seller financing. It really lowers the bar for people who want to get into business for themselves. It opens up possibilities that, you wouldn't have with a typical bank loan. Of course, you got to be smart about it, negotiate well, and really get your head around the business's finances to make sure it can actually handle those payments.
For sure, for sure. But before you even start browsing those businesses for sale listings, Sanchez says, hold your horses.
Okay.
She's big on knowing yourself first. And this isn't just some touchy-feely self-discovery stuff. It's about finding your zone of genius.
Zone of genius.
Yeah, the place where your passions, your skills, your experiences, and even your network all kind of come together.
Right.
So, like, let's say you are obsessed with baking. You're amazing at logistics. And your best friend happens to run a super busy catering company.
Okay.
Boom. Buying a bakery suddenly looks like a pretty delicious recipe for success.
That's a great example. The whole zone of genius idea is so important. It's about figuring out how your own strengths and interests fit into your buying strategy. It helps you find those businesses where you'll not only, make bank, but also actually enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly. Who wants to be stuck running a business they hate, even if it's making money, right?
Right.
And once you've got that zone of genius nailed down, you can start building your deal box.
Deal box.
Yeah, think of it like setting your filters on, a business dating app.
Yeah.
Sanchez, for example, she looked for businesses making at least $300,000 to $350,000 in profit. That way she knew she'd cover her salary, the running costs, and still have some wiggle room,
Well, makes sense. Having that deal box really helps you stay focused. You don't waste time on businesses that just don't match your goals, financial or lifestyle.
Now get ready for this. Sanchez is all about what she calls boring businesses.
Boring.
Yeah, the ones most investors wouldn't even give a second look. We're talking laundromats, car washes, those vending machine empires, even like mailbox centers. She uses this catchy little acronym, SOWS. Stale, old, weak competition, and simple.
I see.
These are the kinds of businesses that often slip under the radar, but can be absolute gold mines.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense when you think about it. These businesses are often overlooked, so less competition, they've got systems in place, and they've built up a loyal customer base over time. There's often room to, modernize things a bit, try some new marketing strategies, and boom, even more profits.
It's like finding a vintage record player in perfect condition. There's value there, and with a little love, you can make it sing.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
And Sanchez lays out real-life examples of people who hit it big with these ordinary ventures, proving that sometimes boring is, well, beautiful.
Boring is beautiful. I like that. But of course, just because a business is boring doesn't mean it's effortless. You still have to do your research, understand the industry, look closely at the financials, make sure the business is solid at its core before jumping in.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And even if a business looks perfect on paper, Sanchez warns about skipping due diligence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she learned this one the hard way. Lost millions on a cannabis investment that went south because of, like, hidden management issues and problems that didn't show up in the initial financial review.
Oof, that's a tough lesson to learn.
Yeah, but it highlights how important due diligence really is. It's about going beyond the surface, really digging into the financials, contracts, checking customer reviews, even talking to the employees. You want to get a real feel for the health of the business.
Right. It's the difference between a profitable investment and a financial disaster.
Exactly. Like getting a home inspection before you buy, you want to know about any potential problems before you sign on the dotted line.
I like that.
So Sanchez really emphasizes that thorough due diligence is like insurance. It protects you from making those big, costly mistakes. Now, not everyone wants to be, hands-on running the business they buy.
Sure.
That's when finding the right person to run it becomes super important.
Ah, I see.
It's like giving someone the keys to your dream car. You need someone you trust, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who's going to take care of it.
It all comes down to building a strong team, and that takes more than just offering a fat paycheck. Sanchez talks about creating a compensation package that attracts and keeps great people. Think performance bonuses, giving them a chance to earn or buy into the company, even rewards for sticking around, showing loyalty.
Yeah, totally. You're not just hiring an employee, you're building a partnership.
Right.
You want someone who's motivated to grow the business because they have a stake in its success. And speaking of success, Sanchez really gets into the nitty-gritty of running the business after you've acquired it. She calls this the command phase, where you step into the boss role, figure out your leadership style, and set the stage for growth.
Interesting. It's where the book gets really practical, I bet, offering tips on everything from day-to-day operations to building a good company culture to handling the ups and downs of being the owner.
You got it. And one of the first things she warns against is barging in with that my way or the highway attitude. Remember that story about the new CEO who tried to shake things up on day one with a motivational speech and ended up alienating the whole team?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Classic mistake.
Right. Taking over an existing business, it needs a different approach, a more thoughtful one. You need to understand the dynamics, build trust with the team, and make sure any changes you make are done carefully and collaboratively.
It's less about being a dictator and more about being a conductor, right?
Yeah, exactly. You need to understand the instruments, the musicians, the music that's already playing before you start adding your own notes.
That's a great way to put it. And speaking of harmony, Sanchez is a big advocate for having things clearly documented. She suggests creating standard operating procedures, or SOPs, for basically every part of the business.
So it's like building a user manual, right?
Yeah, it ensures things are done consistently, reduces mistakes, and helps anyone understand how things work.
It makes sense. It creates a system that can run smoothly, even if you're not there watching over every little detail.
You got it. SOPs are crucial for making things efficient and scalable. They streamline everything, minimize confusion, and make training new team members way easier. Ultimately, it frees you up to focus on the big picture.
That brings us to something I know we're both passionate about: numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sanchez is all about financial clarity. She suggests having regular financial Fridays, where you sit down and look at the week's performance, figure out what's making money and what's not, and see where you can improve.
It's so important to be financially aware if you want to make smart decisions and ensure your business is healthy in the long run. It's not about drowning yourself in spreadsheets, but about zeroing in on the key numbers that give you a clear snapshot of how things are going.
No more burying your head in the sand and hoping for the best,
Right.
right? It's about being proactive and understanding where your money is flowing.
Yeah.
And Sanchez doesn't stop there. She also talks about setting a clear North Star for your business.
North Star.
Yeah, it's like your guiding light, the ultimate goal that shapes all your decisions and actions. When Sanchez was building her media company, her North Star was growing her email list.
I see.
She even went as far as putting up this huge digital counter in the office that would tick up with every new subscriber just to keep the team laser focused on that one metric.
Wow.
And the results speak for themselves. Having that North Star helps to align your team, focus your efforts, and create a shared purpose.
It's like giving everyone a compass, pointing them in the same direction.
Exactly. And once you've got that direction, it's all about making things happen. Sanchez is big on clear, concise communication and creating a sense of urgency. She calls it the 24-hour rule. Basically, you shrink those timelines and push for quicker action.
So instead of next quarter, it's the next 60 days. Instead of next month, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's about closing that gap between having an idea and actually doing it. Create momentum, prevent things from getting bogged down in bureaucracy.
I like it. It keeps things moving.
And speaking of accountability, Sanchez talks about having regular team meetings where everyone shares their wins, their challenges, their insights.
It's not just about reporting back, but about creating a space for open communication, right? Where people can collaborate and give feedback.
You nailed it. She even has a specific structure for these meetings. Dedicated time for highlights, problem solving, planning for the week ahead.
That makes a lot of sense. Structure helps keep those meetings productive and valuable for everyone.
Yeah, and here's a little detail I loved. Sanchez suggests ending those team meetings on a positive note. Maybe a joke, a story, even some self-deprecating humor.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a small thing, but it can really go a long way in creating a more positive and enjoyable work environment.
Absolutely. Leave your team feeling energized and motivated, not drained and dreading the next meeting.
Right. Speaking of energy, Sanchez is all about boosting revenue without burning yourself out. One of her key strategies, focus on recurring revenue.
Recurring revenue.
Yeah, it's about creating a predictable and sustainable income stream instead of relying on those one-off sales. It gives you stability and helps you predict your income more accurately.
So instead of always chasing after new clients, you're building a base of consistent income.
Exactly. Imagine like a pressure washing business. Instead of just offering individual washes, you create subscription packages for regular cleaning.
Ah, that's smart. It not only brings in consistent money, but it also builds customer loyalty and takes the pressure off constantly hunting for new business.
Exactly. You're building a solid foundation for your business, creating financial stability, and giving yourself space to focus on growth and expansion.
And speaking of growth, alongside recurring revenue, Sanchez also emphasizes the importance of pricing your services right.
Yeah, a lot of small business owners, especially those who buy existing businesses, they tend to undercharge, leaving money on the table.
It's about recognizing your value and having the confidence to charge what you're worth. And Sanchez even provides some good tactics for raising prices without scaring your customers away.
You position yourself as a premium provider, highlight the value you bring, and communicate those price increases effectively. And to keep that revenue flowing, she suggests exploring additional income streams.
So offering complementary services, selling related products, partnering with other businesses?
Yeah, exactly. Diversifying your income not only increases your revenue, but also makes your business more resilient if the market takes a dip or something unexpected happens.
It's like having multiple streams flowing into your financial river, creating a consistent and robust flow.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
And speaking of flowing, Sanchez knows technology can be a powerful tool for streamlining operations, making things more efficient and reaching more customers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
From those customer relationship management systems,
Yeah.
CRM, for managing leads and clients, to online scheduling platforms and accounting software, technology can automate tasks, gather data, and help you scale your business more effectively.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right? Embracing the tools that can help you do that.
Exactly. And Sanchez also talks about the power of social media and online marketing for reaching new customers and building your brand.
I mean, yeah, social media is a no-brainer these days. It's such a great way to connect with your target audience, share valuable content, and build relationships that can turn into loyal customers.
Right. And, with a little online savvy, you can turn even a boring business into a viral sensation. Remember that pressure washing business that blew up on YouTube with those time-lapse videos?
Oh, yeah. That's a great example of how creativity and strategic online marketing can really transform a traditional business.
Totally. It's about finding ways to stand out, grab attention, and create a buzz that brings in new customers and builds your reputation. And once you've built that successful business, you might start thinking about expanding your empire.
Makes sense.
Sanchez breaks down the whole process of scaling your operations to make more profit and build a diverse business portfolio.
So going from managing a single business to building a whole network of assets.
Exactly. She shares a step-by-step example of how she scaled her laundromat business. From buying the first location to optimizing everything, adding more machines, launching a wash, fold, and delivery service, franchising the model, and eventually, get this, buying the entire strip mall.
Wow.
It's a pretty incredible story of strategic expansion, making the most of existing assets, and creating multiple streams of income.
It really shows the power of thinking beyond a single business and envisioning a whole interconnected system of ventures. It's about building a system that works for you, generates passive income, and creates a lasting legacy of financial freedom.
And speaking of lasting legacies, let's fast forward a bit.
Yeah.
You've built your empire, the money's rolling in. What's next?
What's next?
Sanchez doesn't shy away from the final chapter, selling your business for maximum profit. She shares her insights on getting your business ready for sale, finding the right buyer, negotiating a sweet deal, and making sure the transition is smooth.
I see. So it's about exiting on your own terms, feeling accomplished, and with financial security.
Exactly. And selling doesn't have to be the end.
Yeah.
It could be the beginning of a new chapter.
Right.
You can chase new passions, invest in different ventures, or just, kick back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Sanchez really encourages that entrepreneurial spirit to keep learning, growing, and exploring. The book really takes you on the whole journey of owning a business, from buying it to selling it.
It sounds pretty comprehensive.
We've covered a lot of ground. It's clear that Sanchez's approach to building wealth through acquisitions is strategic and inspiring. But there's one crucial piece we haven't really dug into yet: the mindset. That's what we'll be tackling in part 2 of our deep dive.
The mindset, yeah, looking forward to it. It's often overlooked, but it's so essential for success as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Welcome back. We've really dug into the mechanics of buying an existing business, but as we go deeper into Main Street Millionaire, it becomes clear that understanding the finances, well, it's just one piece of the puzzle.
Right. It's like we've got the map, we've got the tools, but now we need the mental strength to actually go on the adventure.
Exactly. Sanchez doesn't just hand you the playbook. She equips you with the mindset of a true entrepreneur. She makes the case that building a business, especially through acquisition, it requires certain mental qualities that you won't find on a balance sheet.
So we're talking less about crunching numbers and more about mental toughness. What does she mean by that?
Resilience is a big one. Buying and running a business, well, it's rarely smooth sailing. There will be unexpected challenges, setbacks, maybe even moments when you just want to give up.
So it's not just about having a great business plan, it's about having the guts to stick it out when things get rough.
Exactly. Sanchez herself faced lawsuits, dealt with difficult partners. She even had to overcome the fear of making those big financial decisions. She shares those experiences to show that setbacks, they're going to happen, but they don't have to define you.
She learned to bounce back, adapt, and use those challenges as fuel for growth. It's pretty inspiring, but I imagine it takes a certain kind of person to handle that kind of pressure.
It does, and that's where resourcefulness comes in.
Yeah.
You won't always have all the answers, all the resources you need right at your fingertips. Sometimes you have to get creative, think outside the box, make the most of what you've got.
It's like that saying, necessity is the mother of invention.
Got it. Remember how Sanchez bought her first laundromat? She didn't have a ton of cash up front, so she had to think outside the box and negotiate that seller financing deal that worked for both her and the previous owner. It shows her resourcefulness, her ability to find solutions, even when faced with limitations.
So resilience, resourcefulness, those are key. What other mental skills do we need to sharpen up for this?
Adaptability is crucial. The business world is constantly changing, so if you're clinging to old strategies, well, that's a recipe for disaster. To really thrive, you need to be open to change, learn from new information, and be ready to shift gears when needed.
That makes sense. I mean, think about how much the world has changed, even in the last few years. The businesses that survived, that actually did well, were the ones who could adapt to new technologies, to changes in how people shop, to shifts in the market.
Exactly. Sanchez emphasizes that clinging to the status quo, it can be more dangerous than taking calculated risks and trying new things. It's about evolving as the market evolves, not getting stuck in the past.
I see how these mental qualities are just as important as the financial side of things. What else should we be working on?
Well, analysis paralysis is a real trap for entrepreneurs. So Sanchez emphasizes the importance of being decisive. You're constantly going to be faced with choices, big and small. It's crucial to get the information you need, weigh the pros and cons, and then make a decision.
So it's about trusting your gut, taking action, and not letting fear hold you back.
Exactly. Sometimes even making the wrong decision and learning from it, it's better than being stuck in indecision and missing out on opportunities.
So it's about momentum, right? Keep moving, keep learning, keep adapting. Speaking of learning, I bet Sanchez is all about constantly improving.
You know it. She's a big believer in being a lifelong student, constantly seeking new knowledge and skills. The business world is complex, so whether you're mastering a new marketing strategy, figuring out complex financial stuff, or becoming a better leader, there's always something new to learn.
It's about having that growth mindset, that hunger to keep expanding your knowledge and refining your skills. But where do you even start? There's just so much information out there.
Sanchez encourages reading books, attending industry conferences, connecting with mentors, and joining mastermind groups. Basically, learn from people who have already walked the path you're on. Tap into the collective wisdom of other entrepreneurs.
And that's where having a solid network comes in, right? Surrounding yourself with people who can offer guidance, support, and even a different perspective.
Absolutely. Having a good network is essential for any entrepreneur, but it's especially important for those looking into acquisitions. Having a network of experienced advisors, mentors, and other entrepreneurs who've been through it can be incredibly valuable.
It's like having a team of Sherpas guiding you through the toughest parts of business ownership.
That's a great analogy. And for those inevitable moments of self-doubt, and we all have them, Sanchez has this awesome tool. She calls it the brag folder.
Okay, a brag folder. What is it? Does it involve glitter and pom-poms?
Not quite. It's just a collection of your wins, big or small, positive feedback from clients, screenshots of things you've accomplished, testimonials, anything that reminds you of what you're capable of and the successes you've already had.
So it's like a physical reminder of all the great things you've done, an antidote to that imposter syndrome.
Exactly. When you're feeling down on yourself or questioning your abilities, you can open your brag folder and get a nice little confidence boost.
I love that. It's like having a personalized pep talk ready to go whenever you need it. So we've got resilience, resourcefulness, adaptability, being decisive, that thirst for knowledge, a solid network, and our handy brag folder. What else should we pack in our mental toolkit?
Staying positive is key. Building a business can be tough, and it's easy to get bogged down by negativity and self-doubt. Sanchez encourages us to shift our perspective and focus on the possibilities, the opportunities, and the wins.
So it's not about ignoring the challenges, but about choosing to see them as chances to grow and learn.
You got it. Optimism is a powerful force in entrepreneurship. It helps you stay motivated, helps you push through setbacks, and helps you maintain that belief in yourself and your vision.
And speaking of belief, I'm guessing self-confidence is pretty high on the list of essential qualities for an entrepreneur.
It is. Sanchez emphasizes that believing in yourself, your abilities, and your vision, it's non-negotiable. It's not about being arrogant or having a big ego, but about recognizing your strengths, knowing your worth, and trusting your gut.
It's that inner voice that says, I can do this, even when doubts and fears are trying to silence it.
Exactly. And last but not least, let's not forget about the fuel that drives everything: passion. Building a business takes dedication, long hours, and unwavering commitment. To keep up that level of effort, you need to be genuinely passionate about what you're doing.
It's about finding that thing that lights you up, that thing that makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning and tackle the day.
Sanchez reminds us that it's not just about finding a business that makes money, it's about finding one that aligns with your values, your interests, your purpose. That's where you'll find true fulfillment.
It's that sweet spot where passion meets profit, a recipe for both financial and personal success. As we wrap up part 2 of our deep dive, it's clear that building a successful business isn't just about the practical steps. It's about cultivating the right mindset. It's about being resilient, resourceful, adaptable, decisive, being a continuous learner, building a strong network, and maintaining a positive outlook, all driven by that unwavering belief in yourself and genuine passion.
And it might seem like a lot to juggle, but remember, these qualities can be developed and strengthened over time.
In part 3, we'll look at specific tactics and resources for building that entrepreneurial mindset, those mental tricks that can help you navigate the challenges and achieve your goals. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered so much ground, the strategies, the financials, even those boring businesses we talked about. But as we wrap up our journey through Main Street Millionaire, it's time to talk about that secret sauce, that special something that separates those who just dream about success from those who actually make it happen. That entrepreneurial mindset.
It's the mental strength that helps you turn challenges into opportunities, those setbacks into lessons, and dreams into, well, reality.
So how do we actually build this entrepreneurial mindset? Is there like a gym for our brains where we can do some mental weightlifting?
I wish it were that simple.
Yeah.
But Sanchez, she gives some really practical advice for strengthening those mental muscles. It all starts with self-awareness. Remember that zone of genius concept we talked about? It's not just about knowing your strengths. It's also about being honest about your weaknesses, your fears, and those pesky limiting beliefs that can hold you back.
So we got to get real with ourselves, huh?
Wow.
No more pretending we're perfect. We've got to face those inner critics head on.
You got it. Sanchez suggests journaling, meditation, even working with a coach to really get clear on those self-sabotaging thoughts. You know, those voices that whisper, you're not good enough, or you'll never afford that, or what if you fail?
I know those voices all too well. It's like they're trying to keep us safe, but really they're just keeping us stuck.
Exactly. And once you figure out what those negative thought patterns are, you can start to challenge them. Instead of, I'm not good enough, try. I'm capable and resourceful. Instead of, what if I
Right.
fail? Try. What if I succeed? It's about changing your perspective and focusing on the positive.
It's like giving those negative thoughts a makeover, turning them from enemies into cheerleaders.
Love that. And speaking of cheerleaders, remember that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, that applies to entrepreneurs too.
Makes sense. If you're surrounded by negativity and doubt, it's going to be a lot harder to stay positive and keep that can-do attitude.
Exactly. Sanchez suggests finding mentors, joining those mastermind groups, connecting with other entrepreneurs who inspire you, who push you to be better, and who support your growth.
So it's about building a tribe of people who get it, who believe in your vision, and who can offer guidance and encouragement when you need it most.
Exactly. And for those times when self-doubt creeps in, because it happens to all of us, remember Sanchez has that brag folder tool?
Oh yeah, you mentioned
Yeah.
that before. It's like a highlight reel of your accomplishments, right?
Exactly. It's a collection of your wins, big or small, positive feedback from clients, screenshots of things you've achieved, testimonials, anything that reminds you of what you're capable of and those successes you've already had.
So when that imposter syndrome starts creeping in and you start questioning yourself, you can just whip out your brag folder and be like, nope, I'm actually pretty awesome.
Exactly. It's a tangible reminder of how far you've come and all the amazing things you've already done.
I love that. It's like a personalized pep talk on demand. Sanchez also talks about celebrating those wins, even the small ones. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to acknowledge our own progress.
Right. It's like we're always focused on the next big thing, the next goal, and we forget to appreciate the journey.
It's like that saying, enjoy the journey, not just the destination.
You got it. Sanchez encourages us to take time to acknowledge our efforts, reward ourselves for our hard work, and celebrate those victories, big and small.
It could be something simple, like having a nice dinner, taking a day off, or buying yourself something you've been wanting. It's about recognizing that success is a journey, not a finish line.
And those small celebrations, they help to keep you motivated, boost your confidence, and make that whole entrepreneurial journey a lot more enjoyable. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Main Street Millionaire, how about we try to summarize the key takeaways into like 10 actionable points? Ready?
Hit me with it, pen and paper ready.
Okay, here we go. 1, challenge the status quo. Break free from that traditional idea of starting a business from scratch. Buying an existing business can be a faster, less risky path to financial freedom. 2, discover your zone of genius. Find that sweet spot where your passions, skills, experience, and network all come together. This will help you identify businesses that really resonate with you. 3, build your deal box. Figure out your ideal business acquisition criteria, your financial goals, what kind of lifestyle you want, and what industries you're interested in. This will help you narrow your focus and avoid distractions. 4, embrace the boring. Don't dismiss those unglamorous, often overlooked businesses. They can be surprisingly profitable and have tons of potential for growth. 5, due diligence is non-negotiable. No matter how great a business looks on the surface, you have to thoroughly vet its financials, operations, and legal stuff before committing. 6, build your A-team. Putting together a strong team, especially finding the right person to run the business, is critical to your success. Offer competitive compensation and incentives that encourage people to stick around. 7, master the command phase. Step into your leadership role with confidence and clarity. Set up clear communication, put systems in place, and create a culture of accountability. 8, embrace financial clarity. Track your numbers, analyze your performance, and make decisions based on data. Regularly review your financials to see where you can improve. 9, set your North Star. Figure out your ultimate business objective and use it as a guiding light for all your decisions. This keeps you and your team focused and aligned. 10, cultivate the entrepreneurial mindset. Embrace resilience, resourcefulness, adaptability, decisiveness, continuous learning, building a strong network, a positive outlook, unwavering self-belief, and a passion for what you do.
Wow, that's quite a list. It's like a roadmap for success, not just for buying businesses, but for anything you want to achieve as an entrepreneur.
Exactly. And remember, building this mindset, it's a journey, it's ongoing. It's about constantly challenging yourself, seeking new knowledge, and nurturing those mental qualities that will help you overcome obstacles and reach your goals.
I'm feeling super inspired and ready to take action. Thank you so much for walking us through Main Street Millionaire. It's really eye-opening.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, that path to financial freedom, it might be right around the corner on your local Main Street. Keep exploring, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a well-honed entrepreneurial mindset.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep diving deep and discovering those hidden treasures of knowledge out there.